All right, when it comes to going on a date, 44% of men today say they would stop seeing a woman who consistently did not pay for their date. So does this mean chivalry is dead, or are modern men just keeping up with the times? Here to discuss this, we have a great panel right now. Dating coach John Keegan, Fox News contributor who goes to a lot of movies on dates, Kevin McCarthy, life and relationship coach Donna Barnes, and Fox 411 contributor Diana Falzone. Guys, this is a great topic. Everybody's buzzing about this. If the day of men paying is over. John, you are a dating coach.
That's right.
What do you tell your clients about paying on dates?
Well, I tell men to pay for the first date because it's usually the man's job to ask the girl out, and that's still very important that he does that, and so he should pay. But ultimately, I think it should be a 50-50 or at least a 60-40 kind of split. And a lot of women are still following traditional lines, but the problem is the economy's not set up that way anymore. So it creates real struggle for men.
The world isn't following traditional lines,
that's
so
right.
Dating has to change. Donna, you're a relationship coach. Do you agree?
I absolutely agree. However, though, because I have a lot of male clients who get stuck in a situation where they're always paying, and then they say to me, how do I get her to pay? So I think on the first date, if she offers, because sometimes they do the kind of gratitude reach.
Alligator arm.
You know,
I know
that's
that
a great opening to say, oh no, I have got this, but maybe you could get it next time. And set that tone that you're looking for them to contribute. And because I think it's a generational thing. I think a younger crowd is a little more used to splitting the cost and sharing expenses.
We happen to have a young single woman here. Diana, you go on dates. Are men still expected to pay, or are you expected to pay?
The first date, I think the men should always pay. That is just a rule I stick by, but the woman should always offer. However, if the man accepts, I'm thinking to myself, I'm not going to see you again. And I've had those standoffs before where a guy just stares and tells me, well, you know, I'm sure you do pretty well. You get this one, I'll get the next. And I'm thinking, you are not dating material.
Sometimes you're not doing pretty well. I had a young girl who was dating a guy that she really liked, who was very successful, and he kept taking her to expensive restaurants and then leaving the check sit there. And she was like, I can't afford this. I wouldn't go to these restaurants.
That's the worst. So, Kevin, what do you think?
I'm a traditionalist. I grew up watching my grandfather pay for my grandmother, my father pay for my mother, and every date I go on, I generally always pay. I always feel a little awkward. Like when the check comes, if my girlfriend at the time decides to pay, I always think the waiter's gonna look at me and go, dude, no. No. And it's like, for me, it's like, as tradition, a man should always pay for the meals.
But what about if women, John, now are making more money than sometimes their dates are?
Yeah.
Well, that's an important thing. So I think ultimately it will come down to who has the bigger wallet, because sometimes women, same situation, they can take a man to a 5-star restaurant, but the guy's life isn't set up for that. So she really ought to be paying for that. But when they go to something like a pizza or a tea, he can pay for that.
Diana, do you agree that if the woman is making more, she should pay?
I think the man should dictate where they go, especially in the first few dates, because you don't really know who's making more at that point anyway. You're just getting to know each other. So if the man asks the woman out, pick a place that you can afford. Women don't want expensive. They want good company. They want conversation. We're not looking for money all the time. That's horrible.
But what's next though? Are we gonna see women opening up doors for men, and then if a guy gets cold, a woman's gonna give her jacket?
And then capture them in the dog?
That would just be weird. I can't imagine a girl giving me her jacket. I'm like, that's not gonna happen.
That is my jacket. What are you talking about?
That's right. She let me borrow this jacket before the interview.
You need to make sure that you don't emasculate a man, though. I think that's exactly, especially if you're already making more money. Men are much more tied, sorry guys, to their egos as far as their income level and what they do. It's very tied to their self-esteem. So I think if now all of a sudden you're the breadwinner and you're paying for everything, especially exactly in front of the waiter and stuff like that, I think
awkward.
If you are paying as a woman sometimes, and you're a partner in a relationship, sometimes it's nice if you slide him your credit card and say, here, and let him make the transaction, but you paid for it.
I've had weird moments on previous dates, like a year ago with my girlfriend, where I took her out, and in the sense of I knew I couldn't afford the meal, but I still paid for it, knowing that a week later I'd be eating ramen noodles and Easy Mac
You knew
for a
you
week.
resented her for
I
that.
couldn't afford it. No, I didn't resent her for it, but I just knew I wanted to impress her.
See, but
ramen noodles is the best.
to that point,
Man, Kevin. That's,
Sorry.
I mean, basically what I hear you all saying is that the woman should offer, but we're all still hoping the man pays, at least for the first few dates.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, guys. You are the experts on dating, all of you. We assembled a great panel. Excellent. Great to see you guys. Thanks a lot.